Hello and welcome. I am very grateful that you have made it this far, that you are engaging with this material, that you have been asking really excellent questions via email in the comment section down below. I really want to hear from you. I want to hear what are those things that are, spiking your interest. What are those things that are making you feel like, this may be a little hard for me to put together, or, this is very exciting. I actually feel that, this is going to open up a whole opportunity. I want to hear what you're getting out of this. I want to hear your questions. My name is Sasu Hope. I'm a success coach for women, and I have put together this gorgeous series of videos on time and money as a way to really support women in making the right decisions when it comes to time and money. By right decisions, what I mean is that women, it has become almost like the favorite excuse that everybody uses, right? I don't have time and I don't have money. I'm going to go a lot deeper into that today and the reason why that starts happening. I want you to be able to achieve the level of success that you want in your business. And a lot of that can happen if you are constantly being stopped because you feel that there is a lack in your time or in your money. So if you haven't watched video number 1 and number 2, I would recommend that you go back and you watch those. In video number 1, I went very deep into the importance of following your schedule and how that can give you a lot more freedom. And I mentioned there that one of the things that women tend to get stopped, and especially women entrepreneurs who actually started creating their businesses because they wanted, to have that freedom, is the fact that they feel that following their schedule will actually restrict them. And the opposite is actually true. So you want to go back there and check that out. I also gave you a beautiful sheet that will support you in putting this together, so that you can start actually taking steps in the direction that is going to start opening up that freedom to you. It's there, it's available, and it's yours if you're claiming it in this moment, right? In the second video, I went into the structures, right? The importance of having structures, and the top 2 structures that you want to start using in order for you to guarantee your success. And this is for any business. It doesn't matter what type of business you're in. I have clients, who are yoga instructors. I have clients who are architects. I have clients, who are even in corporate. They actually are in managerial positions in corporate, or clients that own their own physical business. So it's not an online business, it's actually a physical business. And it doesn't matter where you're at in this moment or what stage you're in your business. If you don't start following these 2, then it's going to be very difficult for you to start building upon. So I went a little bit into those nitty-gritty, and the reason why I structured the videos this way is because I want you to see, I want you to feel that masculine structure, like the masculine structure of having the time, of having the systems, the structures in place, that is very supportive, right? And now I'm going to get a little bit more into other areas that will cause that shift of believing in the abundance that time and money can actually give to you. This is how powerful the information that I've shared with you is. Over a year ago, I had a mere 4-hour session with this gorgeous soul. Her name is Michelle. And if you actually go to the back of this video, you can actually get to meet Michelle, and you're going to get to see her tell you from her point of view, her side, like what actually transformed for her. When we worked together, all we did, there were certain elements to it, but the main focus that we chose to put our time towards is, on handling her schedule. So we actually created a schedule of, like how she was going to put together the pieces of her business and how she was going to structure her time, right? And then the other thing was just very simple structures. We actually went in and created very simplistic structures that she could follow in her business to not only call more people in, but to be able to service her clients better. And that was mostly it. I know, we also, connected on a very deep level in the session, and, she was able to open up, and there were other elements that we covered. But the main focus of it was actually on the time and on the structures, which is what I just discussed in the beginning of the series in video 1 and video 2. And just very recently I spoke to her, and she actually mentioned to me that she nearly doubled her income since last year after we worked together. And you can only imagine what kind of an impact that can have on a woman when she can actually, become that woman that has the higher income, when she can actually service her clients at a higher level, when she actually has the support, not only of the structures, but actually of the money to create the lifestyle that she actually desires. And this can be very powerful. It can also be transformational. I mean, once you actually become that woman, you don't go back. Like, you don't go back to making that lower income. You actually continue to move forward. Plus, I feel that one of the most powerful things is the fact that, for the most part, women have, blocks in, like, is this going to work for me, right? And once you actually break through and you create that transformation, and you actually see that what you're using, what has been presented to you actually works, right? Then you are able to, continue to replicate that. And that's one of the reasons why Michelle very recently chose to continue working with me. She actually chose to join our Pop Mastermind, and I can't wait. I really seriously can't wait to see the woman that she's going to become in the next 6 months. So who is that woman? Not only for Michelle, but for you as well. You have to think that if you're going to be making a higher income, and you're going to be growing your business, if you're thinking about other women that you admire that actually have that business, they don't make the same type of decisions. Like, they don't act the same way. A woman at a higher level that is actually allowing herself, is giving herself permission to be her higher self, is a completely different, completely different woman. She's not at the same place that you're at right now. And that's going to happen for every level, right? So it's not to say, you're less than or anything like that. We are always going to be more, right? And we're going to have to be more and be more clear, have a greater business mindset. We have to have a better reign of our emotions and make better decisions, have better habits in order to reach that next level. And that's as true for me as it is for anybody else. So, and one of the reasons why I mentioned those pieces, so the clarity, the emotional mastery, then you have the mindset and habits, is because I have found that those are the main things that will actually allow a woman to become that business person, that higher version of herself, that has that bigger business, that accomplishes her bold goals. And it's beautiful. Like, once it starts happening, then you can actually see that there's nothing holding you back. But what happens? What happens when, you've been in the same place for a long time, and you've actually not been able to accomplish the goals? I remember just a year ago, me, working so hard to put together this huge project for my business, and the results were less than ideal. When I actually went back into what had actually happened, I discovered that there were certain pieces that weren't in place, and those pieces are the ones that I just mentioned: the clarity, the emotional mastery, and the mindset. And I didn't have the proper habits, the proper structures and system, and I didn't have as hold of my time as I do now, and that's the reason why those things were not happening. And if you really think about it, and I'm sure that that emotions, we make our 90% of our decisions based on emotions. So if you don't have the type of mastery over your emotions, if you don't have the proper mindset, and you are allowing yourself to make decisions from a place that's less than powerful, that believes in lack rather than abundance, then you're going to know that those decisions are not going to be in full service to the person that you are and what you're here to accomplish. So one of the things that I tend to hear from women all the time is, I don't have time and I don't have money. And I went over most of this on the first two videos, but I want to address the idea of time and money. The idea of time and money is a mindset. It's actually a shift that needs to happen inside of you. It's a trust and a clarity piece that needs to be present for you to become that woman that I mentioned before. So you have to simply, very simply, make a decision that you're going to start believing in the abundance of time and the abundance of money. And once you actually start implementing the elements that I shared in the first two videos, then you're going to see that for time is very important. There's a saying that if you look in someone's calendar and you actually look in their checkbook, you can actually see that you can see what the person actually cares about, right? And this is very true. That's why I chose to focus this series on time and money. And the truth is that both time and money actually, they work off of each other. The more time that you have, the more freedom that you have, the more that you're actually going to feel supported, right? And the more money that you have, the more time that you actually have, the more time that you're going to be able to create for yourself if you're following the structures and the systems that I actually shared with you in this video. So it's very important to see how those two they almost feel like a circle to me. They kind of like feed off of each other, and they actually help you become more of who you are. I feel like one of the things that tends to be a very limiting type of belief for women is that they feel that if they have more money, they're actually not, they're going to stop being who they are. And the truth is that that's not true. You actually become more of who you are with the opportunity that money can actually bring to you. And the truth is that, if you look at the super uber successful women, you're going to see that they actually do have, their schedule is following a higher purpose. They're actually using their time in the right way. So I want to invite you from this moment forward that you actually believe that time is exactly, like, you need to have full control of time. You need to have, a belief in abundance for you to be able to be moving forward in the way that you want in your business. If you want to grow your business, double your business like Michelle did, then you know that you're going to have to be making better decisions, that you're going to have a proper structure for your time and for other areas of your business, and they need to be in place, and they need to be in support to that dream, that high goal, that bold goal, bold dream, high intention that you have for yourself. Another thing that I hear from women all the time is, I am just going to do it on my own. Thank you, Sasu. Thank you for all that you shared in these videos, and I am going to go out there and I'm going to get this done. And I want to invite you to, step back and look at this a little bit differently. Look at those women that you actually admire, those women that you think they're just super successful, that they have everything that you want, and look at them, like look at the systems and the people that they actually have around them, supporting them all the time and actually making it happen. I don't know a single successful coach, service provider, wellness educator, any entrepreneur, honestly any entrepreneur that I know that has done it on their own. They have actually had support, not only in building teams, so they have actually had support, people supporting them on the back end of the business, but they've also had mentors. And they've had people that were there to hold a higher intention for them, to believe that they can actually achieve more, be more, do more, and do it in a way that's actually in alignment with them. So that is I feel, and with all respect, a little bit of a fantasy that women have, that they're actually going to be able to do it on their own. And I invite you to look at it from the lens of abundance. Believe that if you are going to become that woman that has that bigger business, that achieves those bold goals, that you are going to require support of one kind or another. So no man is an island, no woman is an island. Let's say a beautiful tropical island, and you need to shift that mindset, because that's one of the things that is very likely holding you back. And every time that you're thinking things in terms of lack, or I'm going to do it on my own, then you have to know that that woman that has that bigger business, she's not thinking those things. So you need to start making sure that you're able to shift those. Being in full service, I want to also go back to the point of doing it on your own, and that one is the point of accountability. If you would have, if you actually were going to do it, and in full love I'm saying this, and I'm saying this because I want to save you so much time, so much grief, so much money, so much effort that you're going to go through if you do not follow this advice. I'm saying this in full power because I went through it, and so many other women that I know that are entrepreneurs have gone through it. I don't want that to happen to you. Believe me when I say that if you were going to do it, you would have done it already. Women are very powerful, and they know that if they want something, they're going to go and get it. I want you to think back into your life and think about moments when you actually felt like your whole energy was just focused on one thing that you wanted, that you desired, that was full there, that was just impressed in your consciousned and your entire mindset, and every energy, every inch of you was actually heading in one direction, and you made it happen. I've had instances like that. I actually lived in France for a year when I was in college, and that was all that was on my mind for years before, and it didn't stop until I actually accomplished it. And I'm sure that you have many other instances in your life when you actually believe that. If you were going to accomplish being at the higher level, it would be here already. So I want to invite you to believe fully that accountability can be very powerful. Having the right support can be very powerful. Choosing to not be in lack in your belief in having enough time and having enough money to get the right support can be very powerful as well. And I know this because I've made many investments. If I share with some of you that at the very beginning of my business, in the first year, I spent over $50,000, and it still shocks me to this day. And I spent it on mentors, I spent it on programs, I spent it on, support systems that were going to get me there. And I know that it can be very powerful when you're able to choose the right way. And that's one of the reasons why I also, in my programs, including the Pop Mastermind, I choose to focus on the main pieces that will actually support you in going forward, in being able to make the right decisions, in being in your full power, in actually, understand where you're at and having the clarity of mind to choose where you want to go from a place of full belief in yourself, from a place of power, and from a place of truth. So what is possible? I believe that every desire that's in your heart, no matter how bold, how big, how huge it is possible. If you desire to double your income like Michelle did over the next 6 months or over the next year, I believe that that is completely possible. If you desire to go and travel the world and go live in a different city that has always called to your heart, I believe that that's possible. I believe that anything is possible. And I also believe that things can become a lot easier. They can become a lot more available when you have the right pieces in place. So that said, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your questions, your comments. I want to hear what your biggest ahas have been. I want to hear how you're going to start using time and money. I want to hear how this has shifted your perception, how you understand that, how the importance of having that mindset. One of the reasons why I made the Pop Mastermind a 6-month journey is because I know for a fact that in 6 months you can actually make sure that those things are solid in place, that there is no going back, that mindset has cemented, and you're actually, there's no way that you're going back. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I keep an eye out for the next video. I will be sharing with you this opportunity to come with me on a 6-month beautiful journey to achieve your boldest, biggest dreams. Until then, I'm Sasu Hope, and I am sending you a long, long hug. Goodbye and kiss.
Hello.
Hey Sasu.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So Michelle, I wanted to share with everybody here a little bit about our experience working together. Can you tell us where you were before we started working together, and then what happened during our work, and what kind of results you received after in your life and in your business?
Sure. So this was the first time that you and I had worked together over an intensive, and prior to working with you, I just felt a little bit lost. I felt like I didn't have the structure that was needed to put certain systems in place that I wanted to move forward, like with emails. One major thing was I just didn't know how to put together an email, and that was a really great thing that you helped me be able to share with me in putting something together, and a few other systems like the calendar. I was feeling a little bit lost with my schedule, so you helped me structure the system to put my schedule together so that I didn't feel as overwhelmed or inundated or lost within that. And that was a huge thing for me, because that took away a little chaos and put in more structure so that I could actually go forward with what I had on my agenda. And another thing for me too is I work from home in my office, happens to be in my bedroom, and my desk sometimes becomes a dumping ground for things that shouldn't be there, and it could be anything. There's really random stuff that would collect on my desk, and then when I would sit down and actually have time to work, I would then be like, well, what is on my desk? Like, I can't work with all this stuff on here. It's not that big of a desk. So one thing you told me to do was to spend 10 minutes every day and just make sure that I was decluttered. And actually that was about a year ago, and I've managed to keep that in place. I mean, sometimes I'll get a few piles, but I don't let it ever get unmanageable. And with my bulletin boards behind, you know, I make sure to have only active stuff. So a big thing for me was keep what is active in front of me and on my desk and around me. And if there's something that's not active, put it away. Like I don't know if you can see this, but I have like a ton of folders in a ton of folders in there that I shouldn't have done that are organized, and I try to stay on top of them. And you really help just get me going with my systems, and then I could put some mini systems in place that I created based on that. And
do you feel like you got what you needed? I mean, every intensive is definitely different, but do you feel like you got exactly what you needed when you needed it from that?
I do. And the thing that I found so valuable about working with you in something like that as an intensive is the whole point of an intensive is you go deep, and your energy combined with my energy, really we gave it space and time to come together, and in doing that I feel like we gave a really great collective intention for what you were helping me to accomplish, and that whole energetic tone allowed all these other things to fall into place.
Got it. So can you tell me a little bit about the type of benefits and results that you've received in your business and in your personal life since we did that?
Yeah, so since we did that, I was still fairly early on my business. I mean, I'm in year 3 of my business, but I've financially grown, and that was one of the things that I wanted to do. So, you know, in order to grow finances, you need to have other steps in place prior to that. So, for instance, there was some marketing things that we did, flyers, newsletters, postcards. There was workshops that I created that you helped give me ideas for, and I went and I just made this whole system of everything in place together, so one thing connected to the next, and that felt really good. That was something that I wanted to do for a while, and I just didn't really know how to approach it. So that was something very tangible that fell into place, and then that brought more people into Michelle to Make Yoga. Therefore, I was able to expand financially, and those were all things that I wanted to do / needed to do, and they happened. So that was really awesome.
Can you tell us how much did you grow financially? Do you mind sharing that?
I nearly doubled what I was making, so that's kind of amazing. So
really awesome.
now I'm going to just keep working with you and just keep doubling it.
So is that what do you feel would be the benefit of working together over 6 months? I know that you signed up for the Pop Mastermind, so why would you say to another woman that's considering doing this, and why did you choose to do it yourself?
I need structure. Everyone needs structure, and I felt like from our last session, which was about a year ago, so this is actually like a 1-year anniversary, it carried me through for a while, but like anything, like sleep or eating or taking a shower, you don't just do it once. Like, you don't take a shower and be like, all right, see you next week, shower. Like, it just doesn't work that way. And I got so much out of it, and I had immediate results from that intensive, and that carried me through for a while. But now it's just time to come back and go to the next level. So it's just up leveling and just continuing to do the work. And I think this level that we will get to will create new systems for me that will take me to those next levels, and then it'll fine-tune everything. And because this is the Pop Mastermind I'm excited about, because it's going to be a 6-month adventure. If one day did so much, how much will 6 months do?
Exactly.
Oh, what can I say? We'll touch base in 6 months. We'll do this again, and then I'll talk for 2 hours straight.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and for sharing with everybody that may be considering this, like what is possible for them.
I absolutely think it's totally an investment, because especially if you break it down over the cost of 6 months, it just makes sense. It makes sense. So.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm quite well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Laura, why don't you tell everybody here today what your experience was when we worked together, and tell them first where it was that you were and what kind of results have you been seeing since we did our work together.
Okay. All right. Well, before I started working with you, I had no business, but I was interested in having one. And so I started working with you in that manner, to how you would build a business, how you would start it from the ground up, and how to launch a product. And I learned a ton, and it was very, very helpful. But you also offered me an intensive, and the intensive was very, very interesting because I chose to work around my body image, and because of my weight, because a very high percentage of the reason why I haven't started a business was because of the way I looked. And it's silly, but at the same time, that's what's been in my head. So less than 24 hours after our intensive on my body, I had a woman come up out of nowhere and ask me for a consultation, and I don't have a business. And I think it was a day or two after that, then I had another, which then got me thinking that, I can have this business. They don't care what I look like. And so having the tools of how to start a business and working with you around what my hang-up was for starting one, boy, it made all the difference. Now I just launched my own website, and that's pretty exciting.
Give us the name so that people can go and look you up.
Oh, yourlifeinfullcolor.com. And that's very, very exciting for me, because I'm a color specialist, and so I offer consultations, but really didn't know how to start my own business along those lines. And there was probably some fear, but really your business acumen is what got me going and taught me the ropes so that I am where I am now.
So what would you say to a woman that's considering working in the Pop Mastermind with me?
Oh, wow. I wouldn't hesitate if I just wouldn't hesitate. I know how powerful you are. I know how you're able to see things that others just don't. You don't see your own stuff, and you're able to see through that and address that, and then also guide people towards making better business decisions and really empowering them in their business. That's what I found with you. So I certainly, a mastermind, my goodness, that would be excellent.
Gorgeous. Well, thank you so much for your time. Again, can you repeat again your name and the name of your website so everybody can go and check you out?
Absolutely. I am Laura Bregawi, and my website is yourlifeinfullcolor.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I was in a place of fear and confusion and anger. I had a particular issue that had been continuing for some years,
How
and
many years?
probably coming up for 5
Yeah, that's huge.
5 years. Yeah. Um, and I really just couldn't see a way out of kind of being able to deal with it, really. I just was getting myself kind of, round and round in circles, just going over and over the same things and not actually being able to move forward. And one of the things that you really helped me to identify was that I was very attached to the story. And that's really been something that I continue to remind myself of on a daily basis. If I kind of find myself going back into that mindset of this always happens or that always happens, I kind of am reminded to take a step back and think, well, actually, no, you're attaching yourself to a story, not even on the particular issue that we were sort of working on, and just trying not to get sucked back into that negative thinking space. I think I was coming from a place of real frustration, and so if ever the opportunity kind of came across to deal with anything, I couldn't deal with it.
Why couldn't you?
Sorry?
Why couldn't you?
Because I couldn't see a way out. I was coming from a place of anger and kind of peace and harmony. I had tried so many different things, but I just couldn't make it work for me. And
what things? Tell me some of the things that you tried before we worked together.
I'd tried sort of different approaches of how to tackle it, but I was always coming from a place of anger. So I wasn't giving that kind of authentic, loving voice to it, really. I could only, I just felt like I was constantly bashing my head against a brick wall. But I think that's because, I was expecting the situation to be resolved by the other person, and not focusing on cleaning up my side of the street.
Like I lovingly say all the time.
Yeah.
Clean up your side of the street.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to do the work on myself and, approach it differently in my own head before that was going to come across the way that I wanted it to, without it being a negative. Actually, it needed to be a positive situation. So rather than being in attack mode, I could be, in open and receiving mode, so that I could listen and think before I responded. And it just made it completely changed the situation.
So where are you now?
I was in. I have a lot more clarity. I think I've got a lot more space mentally, because I'm not thinking about that and going over and over it in my mind. I can think about other things and think about positive things, not get sucked into a negative downward spiral.
Like building your business, perhaps?
completely like building my business. Yeah, I started, you know, I never would have had the confidence, or as I said, I just didn't have the space to be able to think business ideas or anything through, because I was just getting caught up in this drama cycle. So yeah, I've been able to come up with ideas for business. I have a website, I have a Facebook page. You know, I'm going to start a private group. And I wouldn't have been able to do that before.
Yeah, I think for a lot of women, they really believe that there's such a thing as business, and then on the other side, it's their life. And they don't realize the fact that you are your business. So if you are not right and there's things that are taking up that space, then it's very difficult for you to even focus on your business or to bring it to that next level.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you've got crazy energy going on, that's going to come. That it's going to come across. It's going to come across.
So, do you feel like it was worth it, the work that we did together?
Undoubtedly, it really has been life-changing, because I'm able to move forward in a way that I wasn't able to before.
So what would you say to other women that would be considering working with me?
You'd be stupid not to do it. Yeah, I think without doubt, it's an investment in yourself that I don't see how you could regret an opportunity to grow and learn in a way that's going to be positive and beneficial for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome.
Bye.